Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys how to change the CVT fluid on a 2017 Corolla. I believe the process is the same for all of this 11th gen CVT Corollas, but I could be wrong. I know for a fact this is how you do it on this one, or at least this is how I do it on this one. I did it at 60,000 miles. I'm going to do it at 120,000 miles. That's what I'm at right now. Whether or not you want to change this is up to you. I am a believer that it should be changed, but that's a debate for a whole different day. This is just me showing you how I change it, how I'd recommend changing it, kind of a foolproof method. There are correct ways to do this, and there are more correct ways to do this, is the best way I can put it. This is the method that I use. So the first thing that you're going to do is remove the wheel, of course. I'm going to go ahead and, when I remove the hubcap, it makes it easier. Always use jack stands. Don't worry about me, I'll be all right. So let me get this wheel off. You go ahead and grab a 10 mil and remove this cover. I find this video especially important because this isn't a service that Toyota always necessarily recommends, or a service that any given dealership will just do for you. So there's probably a lot of people that are doing this that don't always work on their own car, might not know what they're doing. These little clips, you got to realize how they work. A lot of people hate them. They don't have any clue how they work. They start like that, right? All you got to do is, most of you know this, is pop out the middle. I can't do it one-handed. Hang on. Ooh. Yep, you take a screwdriver or a pick and pop out this middle portion, and then you can just pull this thing right out. Even if, well, sometimes this middle portion even comes all the way out. That's fine. Just when you go to reinstall it, put the housing back in first. And I dropped it. That's about right. Put the housing back in first, and then take this middle section and just pop it back in. Sorry, the lighting is garbage. All right, once you get this cover just pulled back out of the way, you're going to go ahead and remove the fill bolt. And you always want to remove the fill bolt first in case it doesn't come off. Because if you drain it and then you can't get the fill bolt out, okay? You know it's the fill bolt because of the way that it is. Now, it's got FE marked on it. It's probably hard to say, but that's for the type FE fluid that we're going to use in this. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that off. It's really big. I don't know. I think I've got a socket the right size, but I'm going to pull that off first. So turns out this is a 24 millimeter socket, which I guess is not your typical size. I actually had to borrow this one because even though I've got sockets up to 27 millimeters, the 24 is not in my set, and I'm not missing it because I just bought this set. So if you didn't know, now you do. Before you do this job, make sure you got you a 24 millimeter socket. Okay, so I got this loose, and I'm just gonna leave it in there for now. I will say, the first time I did this job, oh my gosh, that was on so tight. I took this bolt out, and it had actually completely like destroyed the factory bolt. So they put it in, I guess, with an impact driver at the factory, and this gasket right here was a total oval. So I had to go to the dealership and get a new gasket because seriously, the old one was completely destroyed. So maybe be prepared to have to do that, just in case. Obviously I put this one on last, so it's not on too terribly tight, but yours might be on there, so just keep that in mind. All right, so as you can see, I've got my drain pan under here, and what I'm gonna do is take this 6mm Allen key and remove this drain bolt, which is on tighter than it should be, which is my fault, but it is what it is. Now I'll get it broken loose one way or another. All right, I'm actually catching this in a jar for 2 reasons. 1, so that I can inspect it better, and then 2, so that just in case I need to reuse a little bit of the old, which I'll get to. But you'll take that drain bolt off and it'll come out slowly, and you're not going to get a whole lot after you take that first drain bolt off. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. All right, so once you've got everything out of there, the next thing you're going to do is take that same Allen key, and this is really hard to do with this jar here, so we're going to delete it. Sorry about that. Stick it in the long way, and then pull out the plastic fill tube, which shouldn't be torqued at all and wasn't, which is fantastic. I can do something right. Just in case it comes shooting out of here, which I guess is possible. This thing is pretty long, kind of weird looking. Get it out of here, I'll show you. Hang on just a second. All right, so this is the, I think they call it the fill tube, but I call it the secondary drain plug, or, you know, call it whatever you want to, but it's orange, it's 6mm, and when you take it out, that's when the majority of the fluid is going to come out of the transmission. So what we will do is we will let that finish draining, which you can see it's almost done. We will measure exactly what we took out, and we will use a Harbor Freight transfer pump to pump exactly that much back in through the fill bolt after reinstalling this and the other drain bolt and torquing them to spec. By spec, I mean this just needs to be snug, and that just needs to be, I don't know, a 1/4 turn past snug. It's a drain bolt. It doesn't need to be on at the Midas Zeus. There's a torque spec for it somewhere. I've actually got it in the glove box. I'm too lazy to look. It is what it is. Just don't, you know, crush the washer, but don't go nuts on it. So I'll get back to you once I reinstall the drain bolts and measure and start pumping. And I just want everybody to know that I've got these, okay, sockets and all kinds of other fancier, you know, impacts and ways to get that off, and I'm using this because it prevents me from over torquing the drain bolt. So that's what I'd recommend doing. All right, well, looks like a scene from True Crime in here, but the story of the Maury is I took out maybe 2 1/3 quarts. I measured it with this jar, probably more like 2 1/2 because I just measured it all the way up to the brim. And that's exactly how much I put back in. And I use this little Harbor Freight $4 transfer pump, which works horribly as far as leaking, as in it leaks. No. This is all I can recommend, all right? And it was, look at that, it's a spider. Okay. I had to go through great lengths to get this from the dealership. They didn't want to sell it to me because I'm not convinced that they want you doing the service yourself for lots of reasons. But this is very, very, very specific fluid, CVT FE, all right? So if you do get aftermarket fluid, make sure it specifically says that it works for FE. I wish I could tell you everything that this said on it, but I can't. It's a really cool little container. And the thing about it is, this got me through, there's still just a hair. This got me through 2 of these fluid changes. So I did it at 60 and again at 120. And yeah, this was about $100. I know, but, you know, that's 120,000 miles on the car. What's $100 compared to the price of a new transmission? That's minimal. So I'm happy. That's what I recommend. You'll be happy when your car hits 500,000 miles. And I'm really glad I changed this. They claim this is a lifetime fluid. Look at this. The new fluid is nearly see-through. I know, like, this has got a label on it, but I mean, that's dark. The new stuff is like pinkish. It's got a pinkish hue to it, but it's see-through. And I'm glad I'm changing this. Okay, fluid gets dirty. It needs to be changed. You wouldn't let your oil sit in your engine for the lifetime of the vehicle, just like you shouldn't let your transmission fluid sit in there. And I know this is just, the thing about it is, this is just a drain and refill. There's like almost 8 quarts of fluid in this, and we're just changing out like 2. All right, but that's something, okay, and it's better than nothing. In the book, they say, don't change it. It's a lifetime fluid. Well, what's the lifetime of the transmission? I mean, it's 100,000 miles, maybe 120. That's the warranty on it. All right, that's garbage. I want more out of my car than that. So I'm going to do a drain and refill the old school way. Because like I said, fluid gets dirty. It needs to be changed. That's just all there is to it. And again, I I had to keep a little bit of clean fluid on hand because I wasn't sure if I would have enough to change it twice, but I did. I don't know if that's 4 quarts a gallon. It's 4 liters is what it is. Okay. I think that's what it says. Yeah, 4 liters. So 4 liters, there you go. It's enough for a drain and refill twice, at least in my case. It's really late out here, so neighbors are probably like, who's talking to themselves out there? But other than that, yeah, I recommend changing it every 60,000. The owner's manual says to do it every 60,000 if you're towing or doing door-to-door deliveries. So I'm like, okay, if they recommend it for 60K under extreme conditions, I'm going to do it at 60K. I beat the crap out of this car over mountains and back, driving it harder than I really should, putting bikes on the back of it, that kind of thing. So it sees probably a little bit more wear than like the average vehicle. So that's what I'm doing. Real quick, before I clean up and put this fill bolt back in, I will mention that there is a preferred kind of dealership method of doing this, which is some computer software that fancily, you know, you put in so much fluid and it spits out what it doesn't need, yada yada. How could you go wrong with just putting in what you take out? You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what Scotty Kilmer himself recommends, you know, massive Toyota fanatic. I'm taking his word for it. I just don't see how that wouldn't work. It worked for the last 60,000 miles flawlessly, so that's what I'm rolling with. I've seen other people do it on the forums and stuff. Now, I will say, if your transmission is leaking, it's a whole different ball game. You can't just measure what you put out, because how do you know what's leaked out? You don't. So in that case, I'd recommend looking into bootlegging Toyota software for this, or maybe just taking it to the dealership. I mean, that's kind of a last resort for me, because this service is like $400 or something ridiculous, and that's if they don't try to upsell you and rip you off. I hate the dealership. I do everything myself if I can. That's what I recommend. It's been working pretty well for me so far. A lot of this stuff, you don't realize how easy it is until you do it. So that's it. I'm done with my rant. I guess I'll see you guys next time after I put this wheel back on. All right, you can see we have put the wheel back on, torqued it to 76 foot-pounds. Not just throwing the ugga-duggas to it, but done the thing right, okay? Here's what we're gonna do, okay? We're gonna start the car. Car is started. Wonderful. Put your foot on the brake, all right? Grab this guy here. Give it about 5 seconds, all right? 2, 3, 4, whatever. Shift into reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, drive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're gonna go back through. Okay, all the way up to park. I don't know if I'll edit this out or not. This is your Friday night. Okay, this is probably what you're doing. You could be doing other things. You're watching me shift some gears in my car. All right, isn't that fun? All right, give it 5 seconds. Now, we've completed the transmission service. Remember, safety third, wallet second, but most importantly, write stuff down. What did I just, there went my registration. I just tore it. That's good. All right, look, I don't care what you do. Just write it down, all right? You shouldn't care what I did. If you want to know, there you go. Take a screenshot. You like it? Wonderful. There's a second page. Yep. I'm not telling you to do what I did. I'm just telling you what I did, all right? You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to write down that I changed the transmission fluid so that I know when it happened and the next owner knows when it happened. There's not going to be a next owner. I'm going to drive this thing into the ground, but just in case. Just in case. There we go. I wrote it down. I changed it at 60K. I changed it again at about 120K. All right, I'm going to change it again at 180K. Okay. I'm going to change it again at 240K. Look, I'm 7/8 of the way through a mechanical engineering degree. I've been all the way through Calc 4. I don't know my 6s. Okay, it's a problem. All right, we're going on a road test. All right, I just want to make sure the thing drives the way that it should drive. And look, I'm gonna look behind me. Okay, look at that. Wonderful. I don't have a big puddle of fluid where the transmission is, so that's good. That's preferred. That's what you want. You don't want to be leaking. All right, that's not ideal. I'm gonna just take it around the block. I'll update you, one way or the other. Lifetime fluid. I'm gonna start selling cars with lifetime gas. Okay, the gas that's in it when you buy it lasts as long as the car does if you never put more gas in it. Okay, come on, it doesn't, like, it's fluid, that's how it works. Okay, back in the garage. The car drove great. Whatever, everything's done. This is a good time. Whenever you do service, I just did an oil change, trans fluid, clean my air filter because I've got a K&N washable cabin filter. I washed it. Check your, take a look at your tire, rotate your tires. All right, I do it every 5K. I don't care when you do it, just do it regularly. Okay. I didn't write that down in my book, but I got an envelope full. I take it to the tire shop. They rotate it for me. I don't have enough jack stands. It's whatever. I got all the receipts. I make sure they give me a receipt. I got an envelope. That way when mission's like, hey, you didn't rotate your tires often enough. I'm gonna be like, yes, I did. Yeah, I did. All right. Open your trunk, lift up the thing, look at your spare tire, check the pressure. Like, I don't know, 60 PSI is what it should be. All right, don't forget that. That's a big one. People like blow a tire and they're like, great, I got a spare. And then they take it out and it's flat. Like, that doesn't do you any good. Now you got 2 flat tires, 3 good ones, and a corner of your car that doesn't. All right. So do that. Check your bulbs. If you don't have a lot of friends that tell you when your bulbs are out, maybe that's something you don't think about every night. Get out, look at them, turn the car on, make sure they work. Okay. That's it. That's all. Maybe take the wheel off when you got that off. You're looking at the transmission, look at your brake pad, make sure it's, I'm not just, okay. Yeah, see ya.